Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The trials and tribulations that I just had to endure to even sit here right now is absolutely insane. Welcome back to the Queen Mentality podcast. Great to see you all again. This topic is a bit serious, muy serio. Today's episode is about the dangers of keeping people around you who want your life. It's just reality. As humans, we have people amongst us who are envious, jealous, insecure, and people who don't know how to walk in their own path or their own purpose. So they try to take yours. And this is not cute. And it's really actually draining to be around, scary, and people will go at crazy lengths for envy and jealousy. I know that not everybody watching this is Muslim, but even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he talks about the effects of envy and jealousy, and it can actually be detrimental to your health. Just in case some of my viewers are unfamiliar with Islam or the teachings, hadiths are just basically narrations of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just kind of like how people take like the words of Jesus. This is what's said about evil eye. We have to realize that like this is a thing, and you know me, I'm gonna go into a tangent about energy and auras and all of that. This is kind of telling to how Allah created us and like how God created us, because the energy of people can most definitely affect the energy of other people. And I'm the type of person where like if someone's energy is off or they're like a bad person or like I'm just getting like a negative energy from them, I can immediately feel it. I immediately like get away from that person. And I'm so much better at that now that I'm a mom. Like that, being a mom is like the ultimate intuition hack, because I was always an intuitive person, but ever since I became a mom, it's like that turns your intuition, whatever you want to call it, your inner knowing, your gut feelings, I don't know, turns that up times 1,000,000. Like it's crazy. For those of us who are pretty intuitive, you can usually tell who's sending you that energy immediately. It's painfully obvious. We can tell off it. We're like, oh yeah, that one over there is a hater. Not all of us have strong spidey senses. So we're gonna go into a little bit about signs of people who could be jealous or envious of you. And it's so hard to kind of explain it like this, because it really is just like a vibe thing. Like it is like an energy thing, but there are always signs. There are always signs. Even if Allah has given you the worst discernment, hey, I'm here to help you, okay? We're gonna find the haters together. And this isn't even my episode about haters. Isn't that crazy? I have another episode about haters coming, inshallah. But this one is just about the jealous and the envious, because they're not exactly haters. Like they're like really toxic lovers, you know? But you gotta watch out for the people who want your life, because they'll try to take it. They will. And oh my gosh, I swear I've brought this up in like 3 different episodes. This is actually so hilarious at this point. But look at Bad Baby in Alabama Parker. She wanted to be Bad Baby so bad. And like I said, this has happened to me quite a few times. Back in the day when I was like a little social media person, like, there was a lot of people who were very jealous and envious of me. I couldn't recognize like the evil eye. I just thought like, oh, people care so much about my life, like whatever. No, I always was like really like way too humble, I feel. There was sometimes when the ego got up there, but I always have ego deaths. Like I feel like I remain a pretty humble person. Like I know when to bring the ego out to battle, but I would say I know how to keep my ego in check. And that's the thing, when you have that part of your spirit, like you naturally have like a humble spirit or like a kind giving spirit, like you don't put yourself above people naturally, and you're not judging people or like looking at people of what they can do for you. If you have that in your spirit, it's really hard to not get taken advantage of, because people see people like that, and that's usually how these jealous, envious people slip into your life, because they're like, oh, this person's kind of oblivious, like they're kind of like too nice, like they're not even gonna say anything if they notice these weird things, like you're just like green. You gotta like build up your ego a little bit, and that's why I had to like learn how to build my ego up, is because you have to know your worth and you have to know your value to not get taken advantage of in this life. And I'm also gonna go into how to protect yourself from these types of people, such as knowing your worth, you know, which goes hand in hand with having an ego, because it's necessary to operate in this world, sadly. Like there's some situations where you literally need to have your ego as a defense mechanism. I'm also gonna tell you guys how to cut these people off and how to ice people out of your life. So if you notice, like, you know, someone's kind of weird, cut them off. I'll show you how to do that easily. And I'm also going to tell you guys how to protect yourself from envy and jealousy. The most powerful way to, the most sure-proof way to protect yourself from any and all evil eye, witchcraft, evil, all of that. What are the signs that you have people like this in your life, or what are the signs that someone could show that shows that they don't have genuine intention to like actually love you and care for you and be there for you as a friend, and they just want to be around for some sort of benefit or to start becoming like you? You have to look at people's lives. If someone's not happy with their life, and I'm not talking about like going through little things. Like every single person goes through hardships in life. Like don't look at your best friend and be like, oh my god, like she's going through a lot with her man right now, like, oh, she's envious and she wants my whole life. Like, no girl, that's not it. Like everybody goes through hardships. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like if someone genuinely, like, you look at their situation and not one single thing is like their dream or like what they want for their life. Like they don't like anything about what's going on. They don't like where they live. They don't like who they're around. Then they are in like a state of delusion where like they want to be something they're not at all. Like they don't embody anything like that they're trying to be. I hope you get what I'm saying. Delusional people are low-key scary. Because what do you mean? Like you got to be grounded in reality. Like literally being grounded in reality is the literal first step to anything. And that leads to psychosis, and that leads to a lot of issues because you don't even have the basis of what you need to go off of to start elevating your life. Don't listen to anybody in this world who is not grounded. Like anyone who tells you, oh yeah, just be like, yeah, delusion's a part of something, but you have to be grounded in reality and, you know, leave the delulu stuff up here, and it can't be too delusional. Like even your delusions have to be rooted in some sort of reality or possibility, or else you're just weird. That's kind of sad. But you know, like let's say I wanted to be like the world's best fisherman, and like I literally hate the water and I have like a terrifying fear of going on a boat, literally make no steps in my life to learn how to fish or do any of that. That is literally so delusional and stupid. Like you're wasting your energy on something that's never gonna happen. So take that for what it is. And people will give you clues like when they're talking of like where their mental state is at. Like I said, I have always been able to tell like immediately this person is not good or like this person is good just based on like a first conversation with them. Honestly, if I'm being real with you, just based on like seeing them or observing them, I know, because there is some psychology about people's faces. Like Allah did his thing when he created us, and you can kind of tell the type of soul someone has based on their features and based on their face, but that's a whole other topic. You have to look at people who aren't like rooted in reality, because people who aren't rooted in reality literally believe that they can take your life, and they believe that they can become you or do you better than you do you, which is scary. That's scary. That is terrifying. That's why I say all that about the delusion, because these people genuinely think that they can be you. Like they think that's like a thing they can do. One thing you'll realize is they start to mimic you. I have to preface in like a lot of my videos that yes, humans assimilate, and like yes, people have similar interests, But it's like, did you guys always have that interest? Were you always talking about that since a child? Were you doing that since a child? Like, you got to look at like where in their life this came from. And if this only came from their life when they were in proximity to you or observing you in your life, then you know that most likely it's them trying to imitate you and be like you and kind of like drive into your lane a little bit, which is a little wig. We don't really like that. And there's nothing wrong with like, you know, being similar to people and doing the same things as people. Like I said, we are literally humans and we are literally women. Like, women assimilate so much. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, like I can tell every single time when someone was like inspired by me, just because I have the discernment. And I think it's cute. Like, it's cute sometimes when it's like my girls. This is the next topic of the next video that I wanted to do, the candy apple complex. I'll go deeper into that in that video, inshallah. That's just the price you pay when you put yourself out there. You're just that type of person whose sole purpose is to inspire others, level up their game or whatever, which is natural. Then that's just what it is. That's just what life is. Like, people are going to get inspired by you and you're going to unlock something in them that makes them want to be better or do something more like how you're doing it because you look good doing it. Okay? I've had to observe this a lot, which is why I'm making a video on it, because I don't ever speak on anything that I don't have experience with. And also, I don't ever speak on anything that I haven't already overcame or lessons that I haven't already learned. Noticing someone get inspired by you is completely different than somebody who is avidly going against themselves and their own purpose to mimic and copy you. A lot of the time when you're in a high vibrational state or you're operating at a place where you're living out your soul purpose and you attract like-minded souls with similar purposes, you're on the path already. This video isn't even for you. You don't need this advice. You could, maybe there's a straggler in there trying to get in your life, but if you're already on your path and you already attracted a lot of your soul tribe, people who are like-minded, that's cool. You might not have any of the snakes in your grass, okay? Your grass can stay nice and long. This is for the people who may be younger or maybe don't have that sense of discernment, or maybe people who keep a lot of friends and don't know how to weed out what's a good friend and what's not, which we'll have a video about friendship, inshallah, in the future too. What do you want to say? Can you say, hey girls?
Hey girls. Hi girls. Hi girls.
Can you say Queen Mentality Podcast?
King Daddy's best.
Gorgeous. We are gonna take a brief intermission. Okay, I am back. Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're talking about how to identify one of these people who wants your life. And I already said, you know, they start to swerve into your lane a little bit. I already explained people who are on the same path as you, people who are supposed to be in your lane, behind you or in front of you. Like, that's a completely different thing. Like, there is always going to be overlap with humans. Like, we are literally all interconnected. Like, we're obviously going to have lots of people who like the same thing or lots of people who do the same thing, but there's the difference between what naturally occurs and having the same path and purpose as others and someone who is blatantly just trying to be you. I've seen both sides of it. And listen, like, I have been who I've been since birth. Okay, like my personality, my attitude, my energy, my talents, my hobbies. I have literally been the same person since I was in Pampers, okay? I have the home videos to prove it, to back it up. Like, I have always been me, and I've always had my same personality since I was a kid, and it's really beautiful, subhanAllah, that like I still have that light, I still have that personality and that fire within me. One of the things I don't use though is music, and that's like a whole other topic. We'll get into that. I was in the music space. Music was like a big passion of mine, but In Islam, there's like varying opinions on music. I won't say varying opinions because it's pretty clear, but that's a whole other topic. We're not even going to get into music right now. Basically, when I was doing music, I had been doing that a long time, and everybody around me growing up knew that that was my thing. Like, I was the only person really around, or the only girl around making music who had like actual talent. Like, you know, there's people who just be on SoundCloud like wigging out, but you know, people who actually had like fans and stuff like that. There was this one person in my life kind of snuck up, I'm not gonna lie, because this was like an acquaintance type person. Like, you know, we had like a friend group that they were in at one point. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it was like a person who really didn't have like hobbies for themselves. They didn't have like really a personality. Like, what people like that do is like they'll see someone with like a light and with a lot of energy, and they'll latch onto that, and they admire you so much that they like literally want to become you, and they literally like want your life. And you know, I can't really say too much about like before I was Muslim, obviously, or like go into too many details about my life, but I was in a position where like a lot of eyes were on me, and a lot of people really did want my life. Like, and this person had zero like musical ability or talent. Like, they couldn't even write. And after they started being around me, because like for fun I would like freestyle and stuff like that. Like, literally we would do that every day. Like, every single day we would leave the school at lunch. We weren't allowed to, but we would leave the school at lunch and just sit in my car and freestyle and just wig out, you know, just have fun. That was like my thing, because I always loved music, always been a little musically inclined. Obviously before I was Muslim, that's just how I was raised. I was raised Christian, so there's a little bit of lore for you. But this person would observe me in my element quite frequently. One day out the blue, they decide they want to start doing that, and their music is trash. Their music is trash. I'm just gonna say that. And it was so obvious that they were like trying to imitate me, and you know, try to take my flow, try to take certain things about me. It was just literally like so crazy to see that actually like play out in real life. I'm like, this is not who you are at all. It's like you are literally trying to like cosplay as me. And it was really creepy, really weird. I had started telling my other friends, I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, this person keeps like copying everything I do. And it was to the point where it was like my personality and like the things I was passionate about. Like, they literally were like trying to turn themselves into me. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I must be some like crazy, amazing person if you are literally changing everything about yourself to be like me. Not even me, because you could never be that, but even just like trying to be like me is that important to you that you will literally lose yourself and your entire identity, and you're not even good at pretending to be me. Like, you're not even good at like copying me. Anyway, I'm sure men deal with the same types of issues, but we're talking as women here. It's so hard because it's like, as women, we get so emotionally attached to people, especially friends, and like we feel sorry for people. We have a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, and it's harder for us to let people go, I feel. So that's another reason why I'm here, because I am going to make it very easy for you to cut people off who aren't, you know, supposed to be in your life. Make it easy for you to love yourself, stay on your path. I'm here to be your girl who's gonna remind you of these things and, you know, drop some little gems of knowledge on you. It's so hard to explain because I feel like I can always like feel someone's intention behind what they say, because someone could literally smile in your face and then you in the back. So it's really hard if you take everything for face value, you know. Like, someone could literally be calling you pretty every day, being so nice to you, saying all these good things about you, but in reality they're like putting evil eye on you. They don't like you, they wish the worst for you. Like, when you're actually practicing Islam though, like, and you're in your purpose and you truly love yourself, you don't feel jealous or envious of anybody, because you know who you are and you know where you're at in your journey. And it's like, you don't want to be anybody else. Like, you don't want something that someone else has because it's not yours. Like, it's really important to get on the consciousness level where you know where you're at in life and you don't have hatred for anybody, like, or jealousy or anything like that. That all comes from insecurity. Even if someone's not like an insecure person, let's say like about their looks or about certain things, they could be jealous of your relationship, they could be jealous of your financial status, they could be jealous of the way you dress, they could be jealous of your energy. Like, I've literally had people be jealous of my energy or like the space that I take up in a room just because I'm me. And it's not to say I am anybody. I am literally a servant of God. And that's it. Like, we are literally all just souls and bodies on this earth trying to fulfill Allah's purpose for us, you know? You gotta scream, you're talking very loud. Am I talking too loud? Let me rein it in. You know, certain people do like command a lot of energy though in a room, and I feel like I've always been one of those types of people. Like, when I am my true self, like, obviously I'm taking every single precaution I can to not command energy or attention, hence literally covering my entire self. I know how to like hone it in when I need to, but it's like my personality is naturally very bright, so it's kind of hard to always tone it down because like that's who I am. Like, I'm a very, you know, my friends who are watching this, you know me, you know how I act, okay? There's nothing toned down about it, but I know how to like reel it in public and like try not to command attention. But yeah, some people just, it naturally comes to them, and I feel like I've always been one of those people, and it's shown throughout my entire life. Like, I've always been a conversation topic, I've always been, you know, an inspiration. Oh my god, this sounds so egotistical, but like, I'm being so for real. With that type of power comes responsibility, and you have to protect yourself more when lots of people are attracted to you. And this is why celebrities are so low-key, and I can't even imagine what it's like to be like mainstream. I would never want to be a mainstream celebrity. That is so terrifying to me. Like, that is actually so scary. I do not want a bunch of random people knowing who I am and knowing my life and try to have access to me. Like, that actually sounds terrifying. And that's why these people have to be so like low-key and guarded and like watch who's around them, because a lot of people in this life crave that. They crave like fame, wealth, like they would like do anything to be in that position. And like, that's why we see like in LA, there's all these people just like clout farming and like trying to just get to the top and like get any sort of attention. And it is just like, you're cringe. You're cringe. Why would you want that? Like, I'm sorry, why would you want that? Like, why would you want a level of fame that like people start stalking you, people start trying to break into your house, people start following you, you can't even just like walk outside or be chilling, like people always trying to get the drop on you, like that's actually so crazy to me. But yeah, think about, you know, celebrities, people in their position, like they have a lot of people who are sending them evil eye, or a lot of people who will fake, you know, get close to them or want to be in their position. People really pew pew over this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets deep. Like, envy and jealousy gets deep. And that's why it's so important to protect yourself and watch out for those people. You have to have real people around you. You have to have real people who really love you and really care about you and really want the best for you around you. And you got to have people that are secure with themselves around you, because insecurity is a disease. Insecurity is a disease. And yeah, someone could have like, oh, like I'm kind of insecure about the way I look, or like I'm kind of insecure about, you know, this part of my life. But it's like, no, the people who genuinely hate themselves, that's what I'm talking about when I say insecurity. People who genuinely don't like themselves and have nothing to grow off of, no good foundation. Because when you're a good person, you could be a really, really, really good person and insecure about something, but it's like you have a foundation of goodness to build off of. If someone is literally a hateful person and it starts with like them hating like who they are and like upon that how they look and like all these things about their life, that causes someone to be a bad tree who bears bad fruits. You don't want to eat those fruits, you'll get sick. So keep good people around you with good fruits that are healing. I digress. It is hard to explain like the physical aspects because I feel like you can always tell what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And at the end of the day, your intuition is always right. It's always right, girl. It's always right, girl. Like, you might feel like you're crazy, but like, I'm here to tell you, you're not. You always need to listen to your gut. You always need to trust your intuition, because that is Allah literally sending you physical signs that something's not right, okay? So always trust your gut. Always. If you feel like one of your friends might have bad intentions or like doesn't feel like they're doing anything good for you, it feels like they're just keeping you around to steal your energy or copy you or mimic you or use you basically for their own gain, cut them off, okay? Now, let's talk about how to cut them off. And it's really hard if like a person is really close to you, but my favorite way is immediate block. Or just like icing people out. And I used to do that when I was younger. I used to just ice people out. But now I'm pretty savage. Like if I don't mess with the energy, immediate block. Immediate block. I don't care on every social media. Like I care about my kids. I care about God. I care about what's going on in my life. I don't care about somebody who I don't even get good energy from. Immediate block. It's nothing to me. So I mean, that's what I would do, is just immediate block. But I understand that, you know, some people could have someone that's really close to them like this, or some people could have a family member who's like this. Some people could be going to school with someone like this or working with someone like this. So you're literally forced to see them. So icing someone out, you just have to like put your guard up, girl. You just gotta just not go out of your way to be nice. Don't go out of your way to talk to someone and conversate with someone. When they're talking to you or interacting with you, just envision like a shield of your energy up and just be like, you literally can't get past this. Like, you know, like ask Allah to literally just like shield and protect your energy from that person. It's so hard in person. Oh my goodness. Like it's so hard if it's like coming from family or someone close to you. SubhanAllah. And may Allah protect us all from evil eye and envy and hatred and jealousy. May Allah cut all people out of our lives that do not have good intentions for us. May Allah surround us with people who genuinely love and care about us. And may Allah strengthen our friendships with the people who are meant to come to Jannah with us. Ameen. You could ice people out. Like you could just stop responding to them, or like, you know, start responding to them like every once in a while. Just don't open their texts. Don't open their social medias. Oh my God, am I being loud? I don't think I'm being that loud. Literally, get that boca. Just start ignoring them if they ever try to like talk to you on social media or like through the phone. Through the phone is so much easier to ice people out. It's so much harder in person. But in person, try to keep it short. Also, do not tell these people anything about your personal lives. Do not tell them how you're feeling. Don't even tell them what color socks you got on. If you get that reference, you're hilarious and I love you. But literally, don't tell them about anything. Like, don't tell them about your relationship. Don't tell them about your money. Literally, do not give these people any information. Don't show them any of your art. Block them if you can from your social medias. Just try to like get rid of all contact with these folks. Like, honestly, your life will get so much better once you cut people like this off, because it literally is just stealing your energy. It is literally a parasitic relationship. There is nothing you can ever get from someone who can't offer you anything. You need people around you who you can have a mutually beneficial relationship with. And friendship is about like love, connection, laughing, you know, support, emotional support, like good conversations. Like it should not be, there shouldn't be any like physical transactions in friendships, in my opinion. Like a friendship is literally like such a deep soul bonding relationship. Like, I don't know, because when you think about it in Islam, it's like when you have friends for the sake of Allah, you guys are literally, if Allah allows you guys in Jannah, inshallah, you will literally be with your friends for eternity. in Jannah. After we die here, we will literally be there forever with these people. So it's like, subhanAllah, the fact that you even get to meet people on this earth who you're going to be with in Jannah is subhanAllah. That's why it's so important to make friendships with genuine intention. And you'll know when the right friends show up, when you're really strong on your deen and you pray for good friends and you are at a vibration where you can attract people like yourself and you're in a good space. Those friends are... Well, that was embarrassing. My phone died. These shaitanic iPhones are always trying to cut me off when I'm saying something real. I'll just clock that tea and keep it in the vault. Oh my gosh, I was at a khutbah the other day for Jummah and the sheikh was literally like, every time you open your phone, you should say astaghfirullah. I was like, that's deep. Anyway, back to the topic. Your friendships will literally either take you to Jannah or take you to Jahannam. Okay, so choose wisely. I'm gonna have like a more positive, cutesy, happy video about friendship, inshallah. But this one is just, you know, for weeding out the bad friends, in essence. I'm sure we all have those people, hopefully, where when you first meet them, it's like you guys instantly clicked. Your souls instantly recognized each other. Like first conversation, you guys just vibe, like this person, I've known them forever. Like we just, our souls just get each other. Our souls recognize each other in this life, you know, subhanAllah. A lot of friends like that, alhamdulillah. It's so beautiful that Allah allows us to have that type of connection on earth and sisterhood amongst each other, you know, and relationships and friendships. It's just so beautiful, subhanAllah. You need to make room for those good people in your life, and you can't make room for those people if you still have parasites on you, stealing your energy and leading you in directions that you're not supposed to go. Because if you have a bunch of fruits in a fruit bowl, you know how if one is like moldy, then all the other fruits start to mold? Yeah. If you got a moldy friend, you gotta get rid of them. You gotta get rid of them. You need to take the necessary steps to protect yourself, and this especially is in cases for people who have like family or people who you can't really like eliminate them from your life, who are giving you evil eye or who are envious of you. This is kind of deep, but like a lot of people, like their parents will literally be envious of them, which is so sad, subhanAllah. Like I can't imagine being envious of my own child. Like what, if anything, like do better than me. I hope you do better than me, inshallah. I've heard of people like their siblings could be envious of them. Your partner could be envious of you. When you have these situations and circumstances where you have to deal with this envy on a regular basis, you need to take the steps to protect yourself. So I'm gonna let you know those steps. And these also work for going out, you know, in public all the time. Every single time I bring my son anywhere, I recite Surah Falaq on him and Surah An-Nas on him, and Ayatul Kursi, of course, for protection, for evil eye, for witchcraft, for the bad people and bad jinns. Allah literally gave us the surahs of the Quran to recite, to ask for his protection from these things. I know people like in Christianity, they do like the Lord's Prayer. Catholicism, they do like the Rosary as like a form of protection, pray like the Lord's Prayer over and over again. The Lord's Prayer is really beautiful, but Ayatul Kursi itself is literally the most powerful verse in the Quran against any jinn or entity. And I really want to go into like spiritual, supernatural topics so badly, but I fear y'all are gonna call me crazy. We'll tread lightly. But sure-proof ways that you can protect yourself from evil eye or envy or anything is Surah Falaq and Surah An-Nas. Surah Falaq is #1 protection from evil eye and envy. And I will recite it. And for everyone who doesn't understand Arabic or speak Arabic, I'm going to put the translation right here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما قلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. If you don't have that memorized, Allah is the most merciful. You could play it out loud you know, on your phone speaker or something like that, you know. But I think it is really beneficial to memorize Quran because it is the biggest source of protection we could do for ourselves as humans, is recite the words of Allah and pray to Allah, because He is the one who grants protection from these things. There's nothing you can do to protect yourself other than ask Allah for His protection. Also, this is Surah An-Nas. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. These are two surahs that are pretty easy to learn. They're really short and really beneficial because every time you feel like someone's giving you evil eye or envy, or you just want to protect yourself, you can recite these surahs. And also, you're supposed to recite it with a little bit more passion, inshallah. But you know, this is a public platform and I'm not trying to rizz up everybody with my voice. So as women, we're not supposed to beautify our voices. And I really don't think there's any men on here. Like, I don't think any man would literally see this video and click it. I think this is definitely a space for the girls. But just in case, I'm not reciting it. I'm just saying it out loud, so I'm not beautifying my voice. But you get the picture. And if you want to hear it recited, you can, you know, look them up on YouTube. There's male reciters. And you can hear how the Quran is actually recited, or you can FaceTime me if you're my friend and I'll recite it for you. Those are the #1 ways that you can protect yourself from evil eye. Also, hijab is a crazy form of protection from evil eye, because if you can't see my hair, how can you be jealous and envious of it? If you can't see my face, how can you be jealous and envious of it? How can you be jealous and envious of my body if you can't see it? Everything in Islam has such a powerful meaning behind it. Like, Allah is literally al-Hakim. Allah knows everything. And there's a reason behind every single thing we do in Islam. Hijab is so multidimensional. Islam is so multidimensional, but you know, based on the topic that we're talking about right now, hijab is such a great form of protection from evil eye on your physical appearance. And beyond that, privacy is a huge thing in Islam, especially the relationship. Someone could literally envy your spouse. Like, someone could envy your relationship. Well, it's just best to keep a lot of the inner workings of your life personal, like, obviously. And I say, like, you know, don't tell your hater anything personal about yourself. Don't really tell people personal things about yourself like that. It's really hard for people like me because I feel like I am such an open book at times, and like, I love just being able to free flow in a conversation without being judged. But you gotta know the time and the space for that. Like, not everybody needs to know your business. Only tell your business to people who you know have genuine intentions and really love you and care about you. It's hard because I can't even get into the mindset of somebody who is envious or like would want to see something being taken from someone else, because I believe Allah gives everybody their, you know, blessings for a reason. So it's like, who are you to like wish that someone didn't have what they had? Like, or who are you to think like, oh, why do they have this? I should have this. Like, literally, who are you to think that? Allah knows everything, and Allah has everything set up the way it is for a reason. So what? Like, be grateful for what you have. That's why also like showing off is kind of looked down upon. That just attracts evil eye. That attracts people envying you. You're going to get haters. Like, you're going to have people that are envying you and like hate watching you. I know the internet. I've been on the internet since I was a kid. Like, I've been well known. Like, I've done all that before. Like, I've seen that. Like, it literally, you can't escape it if you're on the internet and posting yourself publicly, posting your life, posting your husband, posting everything you do. Literally, it's impossible to avoid that. It's impossible to avoid envy on your life if you're posting everything for the public. Because it's always a hater out there. It's always an insecure person who hates the life out there. Unfortunately, like, I mean, I wish everybody loved their life. I wish everybody was secure and confident in themselves. Why you think I'm on this phone yapping telling you how to be confident. I don't want anybody to feel insecure. I don't want anybody to be a hater. But it's like, we have to realize that not everybody is gonna love you. And that doesn't have to be hate or envy. Like, there's a healthy way to be a hater. There's a healthy way to be a hater. And it's mind your business and leave them alone and don't interact. I just never understood like hate watching or like following people that you're jealous of. Like, that is so toxic. And I feel like with social media, it romanticizes it so much. But like, if you're following someone and you're like are feeling to yourself, oh, I wish I had their life, or like, I wish I looked like that, literally unfollow them right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, okay, I'm gonna judge you a little bit for a second, because like, literally, what's the reason? Like, all you're doing is literally like making yourself miserable. There's only like so much evil eye you can send through the phone, but like, nah, and people can't, nah, people are crazy out here. Trust me, y'all, I know. People could really take your pictures and do something with them. Like, people are crazy. Honestly, the only way you can avoid evil eye online is to not post. And I know a lot of y'all can't do that. So trust me, I know the internet is fun. Been there, done that. And it is hard. And I really, really do want to make an episode about like quitting, like being an influencer and like quitting, like posting myself on social media and like all of that. Because it really does something to your brain. Like, it's actually crazy. I feel like I've gathered so much data that I need to share with the world on that topic. It's so interesting. SubhanAllah. There's ways to avoid evil eye and envy, and it includes being more modest and being more humble and controlling what other people see. Not everybody wants to take that step. So it's like, if you're wondering why you get an evil eye, I mean, I wonder why. You're posting yourself. You're like always showing off. You're always going out in public. And it's hard. Okay, I like to pop my ish too. Okay, I like to look cute. I like to do these things. But it's like, with the knowledge that I have, what am I doing it for? What am I doing it for? Is it for myself? Is it for my ego? Like, what am I doing it for? Is that bringing me closer to Allah? Is that making my kids feel more loved? Like, is it doing something for my health? Like, what is it doing? I mean, I guess you could say like it's making you money. Like, that's what it was for me. But it's like, money? Money? Allah controls money. We don't. Allah is ar-Razaq. And I've never ran out of that before. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I don't have to compromise my morals for fear of not having sustenance, and that is a huge blessing, and I'm so grateful for that. Allah is always going to make a way. Allah is always going to make a way out of any haram that you're doing. Allah is always going to make a better situation for you if you truly want it, and that is your intention. You make dua. Allah will always make a way out for you, no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter how down bad you are, no matter how far of a life of sin you're in, no matter how far you feel from Islam, from Allah, even if you're not Muslim. Like, Allah can literally guide anybody at any circumstance. Allah is the most powerful. Don't ever doubt your creator. Don't ever doubt Allah. Allah can touch anybody's heart. Allah can bring anybody to Islam he wants to. Allah can bring anybody to Jannah that he wants to, and Allah can send anybody to Jahannam that he wants to. I feel like Mufti Mink, honestly. I'm gonna go back to the social media thing and following people. What is the reason? Like, you really have to examine all of the things you're doing genuinely and think about them with a conscious mind and be like, why do I follow this random person who I literally don't know from Adam? Who's just like pretty? Like, what is the, what? Are you gay? Like, what's going on? I'm sorry, oh my gosh. But, you know, to avoid even giving envy or evil eye yourself, you have to be like, why am I looking at this? Like, why am I yearning for someone else's life? Like, why am I yearning for someone else's looks? Like, comparison is the thief of joy. You should not be comparing yourself to anybody. You can strive to be more like somebody else, but that in itself is just wig. When you look at someone who has more money than you, or you look at someone who is prettier than you, it makes you feel less about yourself. It makes you feel like, oh, like I need to be like this. But I encourage you all to look at someone who is more poor than you, someone who is living in worse circumstances than you. I encourage you to look at someone who looks worse than you. I encourage you to look at the people who are not blessed in the ways that you're blessed and then be grateful. That is how gratitude happens. And Allah does not give you more until you have gratitude. You cannot be increased in anything if you're in the low vibrational state of greed, fear, doubting God. You need to be in the state of gratitude, being grateful for what you already have, and Allah will give you more. This is why I say don't look at people who maybe are doing something you want to do. Like, let's say you want to start a jewelry business and, you know, you only have 50 followers and you're looking at this other jewelry business and they got 100,000 followers and they're getting sales and orders. But then you see this other person, they couldn't even create the business. They want to, but they couldn't even take that step. You took that step. So look at the people who couldn't even make that step and be grateful. You know, you don't got to compare yourself to people who have way more than you. You can be inspired. You can say, oh, inshallah, like, may Allah give them more. You know, I hope that Allah expands my business. That's between you and God. You have a unique set of gifts given to you by the Creator, and no one can take that away from you. And they could try to imitate, but they'll never be you. They will never be you. They can never be you. No one can be you better than you. You are literally an individual soul that Allah created. Nobody is going to be exactly like you ever. And they could try. And they could fail. And we could laugh. But I'm saying, you know, you have to know your worth and you have to know your value. And you have to be willing to protect that, okay? What good is a beautiful new Lamborghini Urus if you leave it in the middle of Detroit with the keys on the hood? You gotta protect your assets. You gotta protect your assets. You gotta protect your assets. You got to. You got to. You gotta park your car in the garage. You gotta hold your Birkin bag. Put the little lock on it. You gotta wear the diamond necklace and make sure that it has that, you know, clasp where people can't just rip it off your neck. Okay? You gotta protect yourself. You know, you're a valuable woman. Why would you be giving people access to you who are literally just taking from you and feeding off of you and not giving you anything in return, or like inspiring you, or even being a good friend? Because someone who's only there to use you and become more like you and feed off your energy is not a friend. That's a parasite, like I said. Realize your worth, and then realize that your energy is worth protecting, okay? You don't owe anybody anything. Like, just because you're like, oh, you know, I've been friends with them for so long, or oh, this is my family, like, you got to protect your own energy. You can't show up the way Allah wants you to show up if you're constantly being drained by people. All that's going to do is hinder your relationship with God, because it's going to hinder your energy, which hinders your salah and hinders your worship and hinders the way you take care of yourself. Protect what you have, because what you have is worth protecting. Use the tips that I said, okay? Even if you're not Muslim, try wearing hijab in public for a day. I mean, you don't even have to wear hijab like, you know, Muslim women do. You could just wear it as a turban, or even like a pashmina, like just drape it over your head like this. Just see how you feel going in public like that, protecting your energy a little bit more, protecting your looks from the world a little bit more. Like, just see how you feel, especially the head. There's something so spiritual about like covering your head, even hair. You guys know all this. Hopefully. It is a huge energy protection to have your head covered. I hope this helped you in any way. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode.